friends. This is Dainty Tank. Thank you for joining me. This is Highway Blossoms Part 16. Poke the Totoro, do the stuff. Hi. We're almost at the end of this, and I'm very happy for that. Because we get to see the epic conclusion of Dumbass Gay versus Disaster Gay. Is she Disaster Gay? I don't know. Let's just keep going. So last we left off, we had Amber getting a drunken lecture from Mariah. She talked to Gramps via stars, which should have been a little bit more touching. Then she passed out in the desert. Now they're about to drunk drive all the way to the hotel to beat a taxi to stop Marina from going. They both dart over to the front seats and the RV roars to life.
Tess, hair of the dog.
Oh my god. Tess nods and runs to the fridge, grabbing a bottle that looks like the ones from last night, except this one has a picture of a devil on it. Tosses it over her shoulder. She tosses it over to her sister, who showcases the same catching talent as her.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Slamming the bottle in the cup holder, Mariah sticks her head out the window and backs up the motorhome. Joe shakes his head, placing the devil's brew with a nearby water bottle while she isn't looking.
You're going to need to hang on tight, by the way.
Huh? Why?
There we go. My question is immediately answered as I'm flung against the couch. Tess's small frame crashes into me.
It doesn't hurt as much if you relax your muscles.
Oh, my poor child. The RV speeds forward, the license plate, wind chime, digs in chaotic disunion as the bottles and cans roll across the floor, clinging together whenever they meet. Even the table is seesawing back and forth. I look at the window. Mariah flies onto the road, cutting off an entire lane of cars. The RV... Oh god, poor Tess. The RV hits the ground and bounces. I manage to keep my head from bashing the cot above me, but Tess lets herself get tossed around, whirling around the floor with the trash.
So where exactly am I going?
The hotel downtown. You'd have to be stupid to miss it.
Remember who you're talking to here.
Hotel? You didn't spend any of my treasure on that, did you?
Mariah glances back at me, oblivious to everything on the other side of the windshield.
I might have used a nugget to bribe the manager.
What? I'll kill you!
Save the cat fight for later. There are more important things to focus on right now, like the road!
The road will always be there, Joe. My treasure won't.
Treasure or our lives?
I think everyone here already knows the answer to that one.
I had Tess do the math. The treasure's worth more than any of you. Watch out!
A big rig comes speeding towards us, blasting its deafening horn. At the last second, Mariah swerves back into her lane as a truck barrels past us. The motorhome hits a bump and bounces up again. Unprepared, poor Joe's head hits the ceiling, knocking the lights from his eyes. If I squint hard enough, I can see even his soul drifting away from his body.
Sis, I think Joey's dead.
About damn time. He was getting annoying.
Tess salutes her fallen comrades. What the heck? It's always the sane ones who die first. We zoom past the town's welcoming center. It's not far at all now.
Tess, what time is it?
10:12.
I grip my teeth and glare out the window. Please still be there. Downtown comes into view. The strip of familiar stores and restaurants start forming. Yeah, taxis tend to get there a little earlier than the time you actually set because of the fact that they need to load you up and make sure you're there. So she'll probably not be, but no, well, that's fine. Mariah races down the street, ignoring all traffic lights and pedestrians as people leap out of the way and cars break into other lanes.
We're almost there. Get ready.
The hotel looms just up ahead. Through the windshield, I can see Mariah holding up onto a small suitcase. She prepares to step into the cab. Leap out the door and swing it open. Wind rushes through my hair. The motorhome is slowing down, but I don't care.
How are you doing?
Did you jump? I launch myself onto the street, tumbling across the burning concrete as the road tears against my skin. Oop. Immediately, I spring back up and dart towards Marina, now with severe road rash and possible injuries. Mariah scratches to the halt in the middle of the street, blocking anyone from driving through. The three of them hop out, Joe clutching his head as he stumbles out the door.
Amber?
Oh, before she could get another word, I grab her by the waist and throw my lips against hers. She pulls herself away and glares at me through puffy red eyes. I plant my hands on her shoulders and steady myself as tears stream down my face.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Marina freezes. Then she slowly softens from the glare to a strain. I catch a lump building in her throat too.
I thought you weren't coming back.
I know. I was such a bitch. I didn't mean any of it. I love you so much. I just didn't want to hurt you.
And by doing so, you hurt her?
What? How could you ever hurt me?
I was scared.
Tears don't stop. The crying gets louder.
I was afraid I was using you because I didn't have grips anymore. I lost my family. I always wanted to help you, but I think I might be the one who really needs help.
Marina can't hold it back any longer and starts bawling in my arms, hugging me as tight as she possibly can.
Dummy, I'm your new family. I don't care if you use me. I love you.
Oh.
I love you too.
Oh. This time we both move in for the kiss. Two blubbering idiots trying to prove just how much the other means. I'm not sure if it's her tears I'm tasting or mine, but I still make out the soft sweetness of her lips regardless. It's funny. This entire time I thought I was the nucleus of it all. That I was the one helping her or using her. But as cheesy as it sounds, I think Marina has always been the one helping me from the very beginning. I mean, the whole superhero sidekick thing, she's solely the main character in that story. Through the kissing, I catch a glimpse of the trio. Joe's covering Tessa's eyes as he slips Mariah a bill. We manage to compose ourselves enough to pull away, but we never let go of the other's hand. Rolling her tears, Mariah unties her bandana and tosses it to me.
You both look disgusting. Here.
Thanks.
I wipe away as many of my tears as I can before passing it to Marina, who blows into it like a trumpet. She sniffles, her nose red and tears still leaking, then hands the drenched cloth back to Mariah, who gives it to Joe. He cringes as he tinkles it from his fingers.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
One more time.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thanks to you three. I mean it. Especially you, Mariah.
For a moment, Mariah lowers her guard and almost smirks, then remembers it's not her style.
Whatever. That doesn't make us cool or anything. I still despise you.
It's true.
Yeah, she hates her guts.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Marina giggles, and I bring her in closer. Then suddenly I remember something.
Oh!
I bend over and dig through Marina's suitcase, bringing out a single gold nugget and passing it to Mariah.
Figured yours was getting lonely.
Mariah stares at her hand, the other two gathering around her.
How about that? You ended up getting the treasure after all, Mariah.
It seems bigger than the one we have.
Finally defeated, Mariah looks up and sighs.
I guess we can probably pawn it off somewhere.
She walks back to her motorhome, waving along the other two.
Come on, let's go.
Well, see you two ladies down the road.
Will you, though? Like, I don't see a reason why your paths would cross again, right? You don't have phones to talk to each other. You have no idea. You've just been chasing a treasure.
God, I hope not.
There we go. Tess looks back and forth, then scurries over to Marina, gives a quick hug around her waist, before following the other two.
Bye.
Aww. And with that, they speed off, leaving a trail of property damage behind them as they beep their loud-ass horn in the distance. Marina and I are left alone, the cab long gone. Did they see that blubbering mess and just, like, nope out of there? Is that what happened? Between small spurts of laughter, we thumb away each other's tears, just happy to be together again.
Hey, let's go pick up the motorhome.
Yeah,
She sniffles one last time.
I'd like that.
Yeah. Whoa. Looks almost new. Fading from the sunlight wakes me up. Fading light from the sunset wakes me up. Oh. After reuniting, the first thing Marina and I did was take a nap. That makes sense, after you should drink water too. We slept in the same bed, both of us too tired to do anything more than gaze into each other's eyes as we drifted off. Now, hours later, we're still in the same spot. One of Marina's hands clings to my shirt. She's pressed up against my side. Her breath, shallow and steady, is warm against my neck. I feel like I could stay here all day. Or for a week, a year, whatever. Just enjoying this closeness. Marina sighs in her sleep, shifting a little, but not moving too far away. I watch her, a small smile dancing on my lips. Now we're going to be... No, words, try again. One more time. Try again, dainty. No way we're going to be able to sleep tonight after taking naps this late. We can probably head out and get to festival site a bit early. Beat the lines to get in, maybe end up closer to the stage. Let's see how she feels when she gets up. Gently, I extract myself from her grip and climb out of bed. To kill some time, I wander to the back to take stock of her supplies. Running low on bottled water, and could use some more snacks, the healthy kind, not the Marina selected tooth-rotting kind. Also, we need to stop by a laundromat sometime, too. Hell, we should probably go to a clothing store and pick up a few more changes of clothes for Marina. Since we're going to be sticking together and all. Did you talk about that? Did you ask her plans? That thought makes me smile. So happy that I can't stop, even if I wanted to. I don't have to be lonely anymore. I can make these plans for two. When I walk back by the bed, still being careful not to disturb Marina, I know something weird. It's gotten brighter outside. No way. Dawns on me, quite literally. We didn't just sleep through the day. We slept all the way through the night into the next morning.
Marina!
I shout her name as I lunge across the bed to shake her shoulder. Despite my frenzy, she opens her eyes lazily.
Amber? What's wrong?
We slept way too late. We've got to get going fast. The festival's starting in just a few hours.
Marina pats my head like I'm a naive kid.
Amber, it's okay. It's not until tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. We slept all night.
Now her eyes get a bit bigger. And right on time, the sunlight falls across her face.
Huh?
Yeah.
I move back, letting her sit up.
We've got to go, or we'll be standing in line all day.
She smushes her fists into her eyes and rolls out of bed.
I'm up.
Okay.
Can you make some coffee, please?
No prob.
Aw.
Gotta get ready.
I nod. Marina zombie shuffles off to the bathroom to brush her teeth and fix her hair. I set up about preparing. Soon, the warm smell of brewing coffee fills the air, as does the sound of running water. Both Marina and the coffee finish around the same time. Marina skips over to where I am and leans into my shoulder where I wrap an arm around her.
Sorry, I shouldn't hold us up, huh?
Nah, this is okay.
Just for a moment. Then I pull away and grab a pair of mugs, passing one to Marina. I fill mine up with steaming black coffee and then hand her the creamer and sugar. But Marina shakes her head.
I'll try it how you drink it.
Aw. Eyebrows raise, I pour her a cup.
You sure? It's a super acquired taste.
Marina takes a sip, scrunches up her face in disgust.
It's good.
Uh-huh.
No, really?
She chokes on her next sip.
You don't have to drink it black just because I do, you know?
You said it's an acquired taste, though, right? So I want to acquire that taste.
Aww.
Right.
By the time I finish my first cup, she's only had about a quarter of hers. She gets halfway through before she gives up and dumps in some sugar. Yeah, there. Good job.
I'll acquire it later.
Good job.
Of course.
While she preps her coffee, I go over to the cabinet where we stash the gold. Aside from those, there's one small, brightly decorated box. I take it out and set it on the counter. Marina instantly hops over.
Ooh, what's that?
Inside are 2 wristbands made of soft fabric. There's 1 entrance pass. There are entrance passes to the festival. Really? They give you passes in fabric? Okay. Pass one to Marina. Hers. Gramps. The tenderness with which she takes it reminds me of when she first held the gold. Like if it fell, it would break.
Make sure you don't lose it, or you'll have to wait in the RV while I go watch.
You wouldn't.
Think about it for a second. Then I answer truthfully.
Okay, you're right. But still.
There's a little tag that hangs off the wristband, and Marina pulls to tighten it. Then she leans over and kisses my cheek.
I won't.
I slide mine on and tighten it as well, putting the box back in its safe spot. There's a lump in my throat over how it was always supposed to be me and Gramps who went. Marina touches my hand, and she smiles. I smile back. This is just as good, though. I was about to say, your Gramps would be thrilled you went and brought your girl. That's cool. Swallow my sadness before I take over and lead the way to the front of the RV.
You ready?
Hell yeah!
Let's get this show on the road then.
The motorhome grumbles as I turn over the key, but the engine catches. I wait for a second to see if it's gonna die, but it doesn't. Though the whole thing shakes a little more than I'm used to. Slowly I navigate out of the parking lot and back into the main streets. It may be early, but there are lots of people out and about. Traffic is thick, with a lot of people probably going to the festival.
See, this is why I wanted to leave early. It's normally only a half-hour drive, but this is crazy.
Think we're all going to the same place?
Maybe. At least a few.
Marina laughs.
What?
I just think it's kind of funny that this has happened the whole time, with the treasure and stuff. Everywhere we go, it's like traffic jam after traffic jam.
Yeah, you're right. Should be better after this, though.
Yeah, it will be.
We creep along until we reach a totaled car. Doesn't look like anyone was hurt, but is the reason traffic is so slow. Once we get past, I can finally openly accelerate. The new and improved engine pulls its weight. Everything is much smoother and quieter. Soon, the city of Indio comes into view. Super close to California and Arizona border, the festival is held just a few miles east of town. As we get closer and closer, our anticipation builds. It's easy to read Marina, since she's bouncing and fidgeting in her seat. I'm more composed, but I feel it too. We glance at each other at the exact same time again, and grin. And we've been doing that a lot lately. At last, the huge line of trees that borders the festival grounds stands just ahead. Take the exit and join yet another long line of carts heading to the parking area and campground. Guests carrying coolers, chairs, and camping supplies crowd the edges of the unpaved roads, making us slow down. Finally, we find a spot and I kill the engine. Marina looks at me, waiting for me to say something. But I'm all out of cheesy speeches, so I just grab her hand and we both stand up.
Let's go.
Hey! The air seems to crackle with the electric anticipation. It's on people's faces and in the way that they move, the energy like a wave that flows over them. We all share a feeling of excitement and of unity. Every single person here has been waiting for months for this day to arrive. And it's finally here. High tents and portable stages dominate the space around us. Between those and the trees and most all of the noise, you'd never guess that there's a city and highway just a few miles away. Drum beats and muted chords float by as musicians do a few last-minute sound checks. They're barely audible over the sound of thousands of chattering voices. Folks of all different shapes, sizes, and colors mill around us. It's like social boundaries have been eroded. I think that's a sentiment Gramps would like. Idly, I use my thumb to trace a heart onto Marina's palm. She squeezes back, probably unaware of what the shape was, but understanding all the same.
So, where do we go now?
Now we go stand in line while they check wristbands and let people onto the grounds. It's gonna be a while.
One more traffic jam, huh?
That's right. One more.
Even if I hadn't been mapping out the grounds in my head, it'd be impossible to get lost. Bored-looking staff were positioned every few yards, holding signs with arrows and directions. Like molasses, the throng of people that we've joined oozes down the trail. We all hold on to each other. We all hold each other back, the sheer numbers making us slow going. If you haven't, you should look up the Great Molasses Disaster. It's Great Molasses Flood, actually. It's in the north end of Boston. It was the biggest industrial disaster for a good while. Basically, this giant, I think 2,000 ton tank was filled to the brim of molasses. It was constructed so poorly that it burst. And the wave of molasses swept through the town at 35 miles per hour. So yes, molasses can be slow, but with enough quantity, it moves fast and dangerously so. That's faster than a normal human runs. 35 miles per hour is no joke. Nearly 100,000 people attend each year.
What time does the show start?
First bands are at 11, but the ones we want to see are later in the evening.
What time is it now?
It's my free hand to shield my eyes to stare up at the sky.
Maybe 10:30?
You didn't seriously just use the sun to tell time, did you?
What, you can't?
Not all of us were born in the wilderness, Amber.
Hey, neither was I. Just raised in it. Besides, I checked the time before we got out.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I was about to say, you're just pulling her leg.
I'll have to show you how to use a sundial sometime, though. It's pretty handy if you're ever lost in the woods somewhere.
Right, because knowing the time would definitely be what I'm thinking about then.
Facts.
You should be. You'll want to know how long before it gets dark and cold so you can find shelter.
I'll just ask you to do that.
What if I'm not with you?
Why wouldn't you be?
Oh. I kiss her right then and there. After the past few days, I was a little worried about things would be awkward silences and trailing off sentences. But no, it's not like we never fought, never argued, like I never blew up at her. That might be my favorite thing about Marina. There's a growing list of those. She really thinks I can do no wrong. I don't know what I did to deserve her, or even if I do, but I'm pretty dang happy with how it all turned out. The line speeds up once we actually hit the festival entrance and are rushed through the gate. A pair of attendants pat us down. Since we're not carrying any drugs or weapons, we were waved through. Passing underneath a broad opening display where we've officially arrived. Marina spins around, bouncing on her heels.
We made it!
Hell yeah, we did.
It's been a long journey. I think of everything we've done, all the places we've been, the people we've met, and how all of those led us to this. I smile as I reach for her hand yet again, meeting it halfway, since she went for mine too.
Food?
Food.
I haven't had a good meal in over a day now that I think about it. Once I do, I can't stop thinking about it. I lead the way to the food court, which is just a bunch of trucks and tents arranged in an aisle. Everything for sale is greasy but delicious. It's kind of food that'll stop your heart but heal your soul. We pause at the closest truck to us to read the menu.
Amber?
Marina?
Is that like a typo or something? It says they have deep fried candy bars.
No, that's not a typo.
Nah, those are really popular at fairs and festivals.
Yeah. Those deep fried Oreos, deep fried butter. Not kidding, I'm from the South. She gives me the I know you're making this up look. She's perfected.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm actually dead serious. Candy bars, pickles, snack cakes. You can get almost anything deep fried at places like this.
Mm-hmm. Soda. You can have deep fried soda.
Ever had one?
No way. That's too much, even for me.
The thought alone makes me kind of queasy. So much grease.
Order up.
To highlight my point, the guy running the fryer pulls out a crispy looking blob. It's impossible to tell what it is because of the batter. After wiping off some of the oil, which doesn't seem to change much, he wraps it in wax paper and hands it to the person waiting by the window. He bites into it in a look of pleasure, though I still can't tell what he's eating.
Want something?
Vaguely green, Marina shakes her head.
Pass.
Not much further down the line, we find a regular pizza stand and order a couple of slices. We stand a little way out of the way while we eat, trying to keep the toppings from all sliding onto the rapidly deteriorating plates. When we're done, I drag a napkin across my face. Comes away orange with grease.
Missed a spot.
She leans over and wipes dry a spot above my lip, and then kisses it.
Wait. Show me where again?
Oh, you guys are cute. This time she doesn't dab before leaning in to kiss me. Taste the pizza on her breath. Or maybe it's mine. When we part again, we're both smiling.
You should check the sun. What time is it?
I make a big show of looking up at the sky and then back down and pretending to think hard.
I'd say it's time for us to get a watch.
That is literally a joke that my dad makes. His dad probably said it, and it was probably old then. No, just no.
Ouch, tough crowd. I'm hurt. Really, though, it's probably a little bit past noon. We've still got a long time.
Wanna go check out some of the other bands?
Yeah, sure.
Pull out the schedule we got by the entrance to pass it to her.
I don't really know any of these groups. Let me know if there's someone you want to see.
Marina skims over the list of names before she squeals.
Oh my god, yes! Them! I want to see them!
She points out someone who's about to set up on stage.
Alright, that should be this way.
Really bouncing with excitement, I lead her through the crowds.
What kind of music are they?
I have to shout now because the music is much louder over here. Marina presses closer to me to respond.
They're rappers. 2 of them. Their new album got super popular. And they're even doing this version of it where all of the instruments are cats.
That sounds awesome.
Right.
Not really into rap, but whatever. It's not like we've got anywhere else to be. And I'm pretty sure Marina still isn't super into weird old people jam bands. We get to the stage right as the set ends, because there are a lot of people leaving. It's a bit like swimming upstream, but we managed to make it close to the stage.
How are you liking it so far?
Which part?
All of it.
It's kind of crazy, but it's fun. I like seeing all the different people.
Yeah, you get all types.
Bass booms from the speaker close to us. It's just playing a pre-recorded melody, but Marina sings along for a few of the songs. A little while later, 2 rappers come out on stage and everyone cheers. Turn around surprised at how big the crowd's gotten again. When I look back at Marina, she isn't paying any attention to me, just grinning up at the stage. 40 minutes later, the pair leaves stage to thunderous applause and cheers. Even I clapped for them. They were pretty good.
How'd you like it?
They were so good. So good. Like, whoa. If I'd known they were playing today, I'd have been even more excited for this. They're one of my favorite bands in the world.
Aww.
Did you just not look at the lineup or something?
I guess not. I kind of thought all of the bands would be like what you listen to.
I don't think they could sell out a festival like that. Not to this many people, at least.
Fair.
But it's fine. I like getting to hear new stuff, too.
Yay! That's how we spend the next few hours, going from stage to stage watching bands I've never heard of. Sometimes they're groups like Marina Likes, and sometimes they just have a weird name. Around the time the sun starts going down, we head back to the east stage, where we'll see our last show of the day. Marina's in the lead this time. We've gone between stages so many times that we have a good feel for how to get around. We find a spot on a little grassy slope and sit down.
Are you sure? Won't it be hard to see?
Nah, we've got a good view from here, and it seems like it'll be a small crowd.
Of course, small still means thousands of people here. It's just small compared to some of the other acts. Marina bumps my shoulder.
Excited?
Bit of an understatement.
Up on stage, there are banners and giant cloth background that hang from a bar. They're decorated with a familiar black logo that I can draw in my sleep. Breeze causes it to shake and sway like it's as excited as I am. We're pretty severe outliers when it comes to the average age of this crowd. The rows of people in front of us are represented by a smattering of bald spots and bandanas. I'm going to make big of a joke of it to Marina when the band comes on stage, and any words are lost in a deafening roar of applause. Beside me, Marina's voice joins the thousands whooping and yelling. And usually, I'm way too self-conscious for this sort of thing, but what the hell? I cheer too. With just a wave and not a word of introduction, they launched to the first song. It's the opening track to their second album, back from before I was born. They've been playing this one longer than I've been alive. It's a great song, though. They're all great songs. The whole set is magical. They go from one song to another without stopping in between. If you didn't know the music, you'd probably think it was just the one super long track. Even though it spans a few decades worth of albums, everything flows seamlessly, like it was meant to be heard this way. At some point I closed my eyes. Even though I didn't notice myself doing it, I'm lost. But in a good way, with the Marina beside me, gently swaying. There's not a single sad thought in my head. For 40 minutes, everything in the world seems right. I marvel at the odds that my life would turn around entirely in such a short amount of time. Countless cups of coffee, gas station snack packs, 3 boxes of gold, 5 states, 3 weeks of dusty desert roads. It's what it took to get us here. All that in one faulty fuel gauge. I open my eyes and look at Marina. To my surprise, she's looking right back at me. She scoots a bit closer and leans against me, her head on my shoulder. I put my head on hers, and together we rock in time to the music. Then it stops. Everyone cheers again. And the front man holds up a finger. It's the first break there's been in the whole set.
One more song.
Then he plays those guitar strums I come to know so well, the ones that I've been both dreading and looking forward to the most. It's the most familiar intro in the world to me, and of course it's their swan song. Gramps is my favorite. I feel Marina's worried gaze, wondering like always if I'm going to break down and cry. This time I meet her look, and I smile as I press my lips against hers. I'm with the girl I love, seeing my favorite band live, and as they perform my favorite song. What's not to smile about? Somewhere I hope that Gramps is smiling too. If there's an afterlife, I hope they get free tickets to the festival. A single bittersweet tear leaks out of my eye, rolling down my face and onto our lips. I picture Gramps here beside me. Not replacing Marina, but with us. I know he would have liked her. So the song continues to an end. I mouth just one word. Goodbye. Aww. And then it's over. I feel myself change. Not physical motion, but an emotional one. Something new, something deep inside me feels right. The band bows. People are screaming their affection. It's over. We saw them. They performed. It's over. Beside me, Marina shifts to look at me, with a coy look on her face.
Amber?
Aww.
Yeah?
I think I know what I want to do with the treasure now.
Aww. We both lean in, for once knowing exactly what the other was thinking.
I think I do too.
Oh, I do like the lights that they have on them, like flickering in and out.
So where to next?
Aww. Okay, that was cute at the end. Good job. That was a good ending. I have to admit that. I am not comfortable with all of the relationships they're in, but that's comfortable at the end and cute. Marina Hale. Golly and Hale. Get last names here. Pastorius. Whoa. Noel. Poor Tess. Like, that was cute. The s'mores thing was very cute. Aw. One daughter. Overall, it was very pretty. Oh, we get to see character designs there. Ah, it's cute. Oh. Different facial hairs. Oh, the sunset there. This was fun and this was great. I think that's one of the things. I know there's a DLC for this. I might play the DLC. So let me know if you want me to. Message me down below. It ended up being a lot cuter at the end. They did have plot holes, but it's okay. Like, honestly, I think ultimately how sweet the story was.
It's a good thing we were able to get tickets from that scalper. I was almost worried.
Oh?
All that glitters is not gold. Except the gold. The gold always glitters.
You know, I've been hearing talk about a government caravan that disappeared somewhere in Texas. Was apparently transporting a ton of cash. It's the weirdest thing, though. No one can seem to find it.
What? And you're only telling me this now? You really are a slacker, aren't you? Come on, bozos. We've got some serious work to do. Every second counts.
including the trio. Wait. Okay. Well, that was a journey. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you subscribe so you can come back and see more cool stuff like this. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I should play the DLC. Supposedly it's really cute. So, and it just came out, I think in September. So it's fairly new. So, beyond that, I love you all. And I'll see you next time. Bye!